I want every one of you to remember these three words. Nigerians, we are no more. Southeasterners and Southerners, we cannot become. And Biafrans, we must be.
A servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We are live and we are direct this very morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. And we start this very day by making it abundantly clear that the greatest enemy of a black man is the way that we reason. If not that the way we reason is very, very abhorrent, there is no need or reason why we should be suffering and complaining every blessed day without the courage to do something about it.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing program. Wherever you are watching us from, we appreciate you. Please kindly like and share this program to all platforms. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is concerned across the world, so that the world will get the true picture of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria against the indigenous people, more especially the United States of Biafran people. In this platform, we bring information to expose the atrocities of Nigerian government and the success made by the Biafran government so far. In this episode, I am going to share with you some mind-blowing video. All you have to do is to pay attention from beginning to end. When we say that Nigerian government is a terrorist government, it is not a blackmail or propaganda. We are not just accusing them. They are complicit directly and indirectly. Follow us on this very program. You are going to see for yourself information coming from their own conventional media to confirm every single accusation we have made. Most time people think that we are speaking out of anger, out of hatred, but not. Watch and see for yourself what happens.
Yeah. Let's get into the issues. Unfortunately, it seems there is really nothing to laugh about right now as a Nigerian.
Has that been anything notable to laugh about in Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate news we keep hearing on every part.
So the bit goes on.
It's really, really sad. But let's talk about the Abia State government saying they have alerted security agencies as bandits have moved into a community in the state and actually gone on rampage. This is the same thing in certain parts of Imo State. It's the same thing in certain parts of Enugu State. The same Ehamufu community that was attacked earlier on in the year is being attacked again. Mr. Dele Fanimo, if you see the videos that I have, if you see the pictures that I've seen, the gory pictures, you see people's guts spilled out, you see the human brain being spilled out, you will see children lying dead, you will see people bleeding. It is a terrible sight. It is a gory sight. We've been talking about Benue. Over 200 lives have been lost, despite the fact that the state government puts it at a much lower number. But we heard it over and over again that, oh, sometimes they do this so that the people are not alarmed. But is it not time for us to be alarmed? Because these terrorists that we have given a name, bandits, right? Because banditry is just one step lower than terrorism. But at the end of the day, these are people who are going into people's homes and decimating them, removing them from the face of the earth. While we have the chief of defense staff, the IG of police, and other security chiefs saying we are on top of it, we're on top of it, we're on top of it. Mr. Fanimo, does it look like we're on top of the situation?
Now, let me clear one thing about banditry and terrorism. You see, the bandit comes and his main focus is how to loot your property. It is only when he meets resistance that he is forced to fight back, and in the process you suffer casualty. But in the case of terrorism, that man has come to unleash terror, fear, apprehension, anxiety, and the more he gets out of that zone with that victory, with the intention of unleashing terror, it will continue. And part of the reasons why they come is to probably kill, to ensure that it sends a signal that I am not joking. I'm here.
Mr. Fulani, you're saying probably as if we're not already seeing the evidence of the bloodshed, bloodletting, and just senseless murders that keep happening in different states in the country.
What I'm saying is that a terrorist, even the ones they call bandits, they are not bandits. Bandits don't erect a camp. We have seen these people erecting camps, hoisting their flags, asking communities to pay certain amount of money, even government negotiating with them that they will be paying certain amount of money every month to ensure that they give them protection. How do you tell a thief to protect your home and you go to sleep? By the morning, you are not likely to see anything in your house. Now, coming to the issue of the devastating effect of allowing these people to fester unhindered, it is because government is complicit. Government is complicit because if somebody comes to you, deal with you, kill, and he retreats and comes back another day.
You're saying that the government is complicit in the death of her citizens that are expected to vote in the 2027 elections, even as campaigns are already on that way.
Let me tell you.
That is, the government is killing the people that are supposed to vote for them, that are supposed to protect.
There is something that is called vicarious liability. You may not be at the scene of a crime, but by virtue of your position, you are supposed to prevent, and you just give tacit support. Then you are as complicit as the person that carry out the actual act. Saruwa was not there the day the Ogoni three were killed, but because of certain things that led to circumstantial evidence, nailed him. Now, what we are saying here is these people, they didn't fall from heaven. They didn't use parachutes to attack those communities. They came by road. And when they are retreating, they also went by road. And why I say government is complicit is, how would you describe Gumi, a non-state actor, leading our soldiers to Toji's den, sitting side by side with Toji with videos, recording, video cameramen recording, and our own troop is behind Toji. The ragtag terrorists are behind Toji, and they are sitting side by side, both of them armed. And there won't be any resistance, no confrontation. Toji will leave and go back to his house and begin to feed us whatever is ready to spew from his house.
And speaking on behalf of the bandits.
And
the problem right now.
Now, Toji is not a Nigerian. He was practically chased out of Niger.
And Nigeria welcomed him with open arms.
That is it. So how will you now exonerate government from this?
Right now, Governor Hassan Talia of Benue State is saying that the gunmen who carried out the massacre in Benue State came in large numbers and they're currently moving towards Lafia in Nasarawa State. At the same time, we're getting reports that the chief communities that have been displaced from their homeland in Benue State have moved to Nasarawa. So we have a humanitarian crisis on our hands. We have people being refugees in their own country. And we also have these bandits, these terrorists, these guys as herdsmen or whatever these guys as, going to meet them right there in Nasarawa State. Now, one thing we keep seeing is when it comes to elections, even the remotest villages, they get election materials. But when it comes to basic amenities, when it comes to the protection of lives and properties, what we are seeing is something different. The president said that he will clear his appointment, he will clear his schedule to visit the people on Wednesday. Where is that sense of urgency? I've heard people talking about for the past few days, talking about what Yoruba people call itara in pidgin, that would be translated as pepper body. Like they show that this thing is actually hurting you, that they are not seeing that urgency in the way the governor is speaking to his people, in the way the president is handling the matter, in the way that the security chiefs are also looking into the matter. They are not seeing that sense of urgency at all. In what world will 200 people be massacred that is not by, what do you call it, like earthquakes, which are natural disasters that are happening? These are man-made disasters that we have allowed to fester. Now, I want to cast your mind back to one time when someone said, oh, that they brought these people in to remove Jonathan. Jonathan is out. After Jonathan Buhari has come, President Tinubu is the one who is on seat now. And yet this problem is like a sore, like an ulcer on the feet of a diabetic patient that keeps festering and festering. What will be the solution? Do we cut off the leg?
You see, having listened to your analysis all this while,
you are the political analyst here.
You have done a bit of it, but let me tell you, the first law of nature is self-preservation. You find joy in preserving your own life before you save another man's life. Those people that were imported to Nigeria just to remove Jonathan, it was creating a monster at that time. And when you create a monster, it is not all the time that you can decimate that monster. Most times, the monster will likely consume you. It's like when you have a cub, a lion cub, you keep in the house and you see that respect. But at a point, the animalistic instinct in that lion that has grown from being a cub to a grown-up lion will overwhelm the lion to the extent that that instinct will make that lion kill that person. So it's the same way now. When it was convenient for these politicians, they hired these guys to come and now Jonathan is resting in his house. The aftermath of that hiring and payment is what we are facing today in Nigeria. But that is not the problem. The problem is, if you know that these people are becoming a menace, go after them. Use all the might you have.
Okay.
Decimate their ranks, and then let peace reign.
You know,
but unfortunately, the same way a politician will keep a thug that is rampaging in the community just because he needs them to snatch ballot box during election, because he's not going to bring out his son or daughter to help him snatch ballot box. He has to use those thugs. It's the same way they are keeping these marauders, because they want to use them for election purpose. And that's why, and unfortunately again, they find solace in those who are steeped in religiosity and ethnicity. Why would somebody who had been a head of state and civilian president in this country intervene on behalf of these marauders and say an attack on them is an attack on his people? That is to show you the extent at which these people are shielded from the law.
So the first problem is that there are people within the highest echelon of our political ranks in
that are supporting these people.
All right, here's something else. There are certain people right now who are peddling the notion that, oh, this was not a bandit attack, and that whenever you hear anything about attacks from Benue State, that it is actually community clashes, that each communities are loaded with weapons and they're taking each other out over land. I'm reading literally what somebody put out there on social media. This is what is being peddled. This particular post has 514,000 views and 1,500 likes. Now, someone else also said that there are no bandits, no terrorists, but the people there keep killing themselves over land. But the governor of the state and the people who are in the midst of these attacks have told you that these are the people who are their attackers. Earlier in the year, I don't know if you recall, when Governor Hyacinth Alia said, oh, that these are not indigenous Fulani herdsmen carrying out these attacks, that they don't speak the kind of Fulani that the Nigerian Fulani speak, that the kind of Fulani they speak is like they come from outside Nigeria, maybe Niger, Cameroon, that they can tell them apart. These are not a part of us. When we keep deflecting and shifting the blame, how can we find the solution?
It's very simple. How did they profile them? It means they have contact with them. Those they had contact with, why didn't they arrest them and begin to interrogate for us to know exactly where these people are coming from? How? If I'm seeing you for the first time, you are not talking to me, I'm not talking to you, how would I know that you are even a Nigerian? For me to know if you're a Nigerian, I'll talk to you, listen to your accent, your attitude, your idiosyncrasy, and all that. That will make me ask further question. Which part of Nigeria are you from? Then you say, I'm from Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Ibibio, or whatever. Now, these people, they keep implicating themselves by their utterances. How would you locate communal clash in a situation whereby you mopped up arms within those communities so that you don't have proliferation of arms? Everybody that had
the people defenseless in the face of the attackers.
Exactly. So how do you mop up arms all over the state? How did, let's assume without conceding that it's a communal clash, how are those other groups or other communities, how are they able to access arms that the other community that they came to rout couldn't get? It's pure lies. These people, they have their agenda, and which is subjugation of the indigenous people and taking over their land.
For expansion purposes or for population purposes, or so that we can continue to say that, oh, the north is more populated than every other region in Nigeria.
No, because they are coming from a place where they cannot graze their cows. And they want a permanent place that is green.
Then why not ranching? A lot of people have been talking about, look, this is the 21st century. This is ranching. 2025. Nobody should be moving about with cows in the city capital. We saw a situation where Benue State youths were chasing out cows and the headers that belonged to a lawmaker right there in the state, saying, we don't want this. This is how you come under the guise of, Mr. Fanimo, it is very, very annoying. Honestly, I don't know if this happens, but you just come out on your street in the morning and you see cow dung all over the road. And you are driving and it's embedded in your tires. You know, when you go to the car wash, they will charge you more to wash that off. You're walking, you're stepping into it. If you're moving in the night and you do not have a torchlight, you will step into cow dung. They are going into people's farms, eating up their crops, even decorative flowers, they're eating everything. We know that every Nigerian has freedom of association. Every Nigerian has the right to live wherever they want to live. But no Nigerian has the right to destroy the property of another under the guise of trying to feed their livestock.
As a matter of fact, the moment you step on my right, your right seizes.
And so when you talk or you retaliate, what happens?
When you go into my farm to feed your livestock, you have abridged my right while you are trying to safeguard your own. That means I am aggrieved. Now, you see, the point is, those who kill are not the conventional herdsmen. They have their militia group that if you touch their cow, they will regroup and link up with their militia group who will come and destroy everything around that community and retreat. They are always on standby. In the barracks, they call some people, some soldiers available. Those are the ones that you see in the sentry, at the gate, around the quarter guard. Those ones, anytime their attention is needed, they mount the truck and off they go. And that's what they are having now. Most of these people, the herdsmen, are just unfortunate that some of them are true compatriots that have lived in such communities over the years. So they are being tainted
by the nefarious activities of quite a number of people.
So
if we have people saying that, oh, what's happening in Benue is a communal clash, these people are fighting over land, what about Ehamufu in Enugu? What about Abia State? What about Imo? What about Mamuda in Kwara and other areas?
Let me tell you.
Because the more you peddle this, there are people who will bite it, who will chew it, who will swallow it and keep regurgitating this particular sentiment, which even the governor of the state has come and said, look, this is not true. We know the people who are attacking us. All we need is to go ahead to decimate these people. When people of Benue State were voting for a reverend father, quote and unquote, they really believed that, oh, we have someone who will be doing things differently. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
Let me tell you, like it or not, communal clashes, you always suffer casualty on both sides. But since these people have been coming to these communities to attack them, have you ever seen a casualty on the side of those who are coming? No. You call, for instance, if a Modaike crisis as communal clash, if a people will suffer casualty, Modaike people will suffer casualty, and over time, people of both sides were counting their losses. And it was clear. But where you tie somebody's hand behind him and somebody is holding a AK-47, how do you balance the force? No way. These people are not, if they are really fighting over communal land, they should be returning to their land as soon as they do all this after the killings. But nobody has identified anybody that come from community A to attack community B and retreat back to community A. Nobody. So how do you tell me that it's a communal clash? You see, the point is, until government is ready, and I can tell you, soldiers are waiting in the barracks for genuine orders to go after these people. And the day government makes up its mind and say, look, enough is enough, I tell you, it won't take more than 2 weeks to rout these people.
You know, while we're talking about all of this, the Sokoto state government has come out to say it's open to dialogue with repentant bandits. And, you know, when we are talking bandits, we're not just talking about people who go into a community and just steal things. We're talking about people who are taking human lives. This is not the first time that they're talking about it. They'll say things like, sometimes you have to employ other non-kinetic approach, non-military approach to de-escalate the conflict. But is it a conflict when just one side is dying? Why do we still have that option on the table of repentance and reintegration? Why do we still have that when we have had several people from the Nigerian military come out, or soldiers coming and tell us that, look, these repentant bandits are coming and getting information and giving it to the people who are coming back to attack others? We have soldiers dying on the front line day in and day out, while the people that they're fighting so hard against are being reintegrated into the system. Isn't that enough to actually kill anyone's morale?
How do you determine the repentance of somebody who had killed over the years? This is not Bible. This is not Quran. This is about human lives. And even the Bible said, those who kill by the sword shall also die by the sword. What was he thinking when he was killing other people? And how much of rehabilitation would you give somebody who is bloodthirsty? If I were in government, honestly, these people, they deserve to be taken out. Look at what they did in the DRC. Those guys became a menace, about 1,000 of them. And government decided that, look, enough is enough. They were robbing, they were raping, they were doing all manners of things. And government said enough is enough. The ones that were arrested, they were summarily executed. And to today, that place is calm.
Other people have been calling for people in the affected areas to take up arms, recalling what happened in Uromi and saying, you can see how the Uromi people in Delta State dealt with the situation. Since then, there's been no attacks on that place. Is that really the answer, to answer violence with violence at this point? Plus, how sophisticated what kind of weapons can these people have that will actually repel the bandits who are coming with much more sophisticated weapons?
Now, let me answer that straight. If you go back in history, the major nucleus of rank and file in the Nigerian army, my father was in the army, and I know what I'm talking about, are the people from Benue and Plateau. And up to today, you have some of them that are retired. So, if government allows them to bear arms, these guys are no match for them. So if they have a means of getting arms, this is a matter of life and death. So be it. Let them arm themselves. If a old general, a retired general that was once chief of army staff in this country, T.Y. Danjuma, could say, look, pick up arms and defend yourself. If I have somebody that has been terrorizing my home for about 2 or 3 times, and I have a means of getting a double-barrel gun, at least, whatever it will cost me, if it means selling my car, I'll go and get it. So that next time when he comes, he will meet me force for force. And then that will deter him. Most of these people, it's not as if they are invisible, but because they know that they are going to attack a sitting duck. That's why they have all the temerity, the arrogance and everything to attack these people. If somebody is coming with AK-47 and you have a pump action, if you position yourself in your house that he doesn't know the topography of your house or the terrain in your house, and you fire back at him and bring down 2 of them, even if there are 20, 18 of them will retreat and say, we don't know what this man means. Before they regroup, you call for reinforcement. Other community members will come out and they will be routed. There's no magic about it. It's not about the sophistication of weapons. It's about positioning and firing power.
You know that a lot of these attackers, they undergo training in the forest where they come out from. Can the people who have no military training whatsoever be a match for them, even if they have RPGs, the most sophisticated weapons you can think about?
I am telling you, there is no village in Plateau or Benue that will not find minimum of 3 ex-military men. That is no. Go and find out. I've been to Benue. I've been to Plateau.
How do you know that these people you're talking about are not part of the casualties that are being counted as just numbers right now?
Because they are not armed. You can't kill all of them at the same time.
Because of our time, Mr. Fulani, I want to quickly talk about another issue that is affecting Nigerians. Since the president came on board and since that subsidy is gone speech, Nigerians have not bought fuel for anything less than 500 naira.
500?
For anything less. Nigerians have not bought fuel for anything less than 500 since May 29, 2023. Okay. Right? So right now, Pakistan President Festus Sifo has come and said Nigerians should be buying fuel for 700 to 750. He says oil marketers are fleecing Nigerians. In the midst of all this, Dangote is saying, you know what? We'll no longer be using this middleman. We'll be supplying petrol directly to you. The marketers are saying, no, you want to take us out of business. In the midst of all of this, and at the end of the day, Festus Sifo is also saying the reason why Nigerian-owned refineries are not working is not because of any operational challenges. So with the amount of money that has been sunk into turnaround and maintenance, there's no reason for those refineries not to be working, but that there are people who have political motives to keep shutting these refineries down so that their own businesses can thrive.
You see, if somebody of Osifo's stature, Pengasan is petroleum and natural gas senior staff association. Yes. And he is a senior person in the oil and gas sector of the economy. If he's saying that, then you better believe it.
So even when Dangote gives a little reprieve and say, we'll now be selling our fuel instead of 900, we'll sell for 890.
Dangote,
or we'll sell for 850. And Nigerians will be happy. Say, he gave us 15 naira discount.
Dangote is in business to make and maximize profit. And because he enjoys a kind of pseudo monopoly now that may not last for too long. So whatever he wants to make, he will make it now. Our refinery, our state-owned refineries are not going to work because it's only owned by government. Petrobras is not only owned by the Brazilians government. Aramco, some people bought shares into it. Why is LNG working? Because the private sector is the one driving. The share capital of the private sector in LNG is higher than that of government. But you have an NPCL that is wholly owned. Where is it in the stock exchange that NPCL is quoted?
After watching this video, now you understand very well what we mean when we say that Nigeria is irredeemable. When we call for the disintegration of Nigeria, you will now understand. There is no plan and there is no way Nigeria will survive in the dish that it is today. And Nigeria continue to deepen into more failure, into more disaster, into more insecurity, and into more economic instability. The earlier we begin to think wisely and focus on the solution, which is disintegration, the better for all of us. It is not a selfish request. It is not just about the Biafran. It is about humanity. If you want to save humanity, you must support the disintegration of the contraption called Nigeria. Divide the country along people that have same value system. People that have same value system. The Oduduwa people, the Middle Belt, the Northerners, and the Southeastern and the Biafrans. That is the only solution. No matter how you try to run away from it, it will continue to haunt you. Thank you, and let's keep watching. Go to comment section and share your comments.